The one good thing about Jared Leto is at least he looks kind of like Skeletor, right? You know, just paint him blue. That's all you really need to do, la-da-dee-la-dee-die. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to Geniality. Hand over the castle there, Sorceress, unless you'd like another barrage from my collector. I'll never succumb to you, Skeletor. Oh, come on there, Sorceress. Stop being so stubborn. I hired the property brothers and everything to renovate that place. You know how much they cost? I don't care. I will never give Castle Grayskull to you. Be reasonable, will you? After all, it must get lonely there in that dark, cold castle all alone, with just you and your many cats. Are you implying that I'm a cat lady? Hey, look, I'm not judging. After all, I Skeletor love cats myself. And to be honest, I'm kind of fond of birds as well, if you know what I mean. What, Skeletor? I can't believe you just said such a thing. Now, come on there, Sorceress. Don't tell me you've never thought about it. Well, sure, maybe I've thought about it a little. Well, no, I could never. You're evil. That is true, but one thing you should know about me, Sorceress, is that while I am evil and selfish, there is one place where I, Skeletor, am very, very generous. Oh, no, Drat, the camera's on. Hey, as you can see, I, Skeletor, am, just planning my next conquest to Castle Grayskull. That's all. And I was just using some of the Christmas presents that I, Skeletor, received over the holiday season. And to be honest, I, Skeletor, am kind of disappointed. Because I asked Santa to bring me my collector and Castle Grayskull for Christmas. And while I, Skeletor, was expecting, a real castle and my real collector, instead all I got was these toys. And since I can't have the real thing, I guess I might as well just pretend. Anyway, hello there, my YouTube minions. It is I, your unfriendly neighborhood Skeletor. Well, it seems like another holiday season has passed us. I hope all of you had a relatively non-eventful Christmas and New Year. Like I said, that's the best you're going to get from me, Skeletor. It's not in my constitution to say Happy and Merry Christmas, but the least I can offer you is a relatively non-eventful one. But there were events that did happen prior to Christmas, and one that a lot of you in the comments have been pretty adamant that I, Skeletor, need to cover. And that is, of course, the casting choice for yours truly, me, Skeletor, in the new upcoming Masters of the Universe live-action film, Jared Leto. I had a lot of people in the comments going, Skeletor, it is your sworn duty as Evil Emperor Skeletor to weigh in on this casting choice of Skeletor. What do you think about Jared Leto playing you in this film? Now, I did kind of touch on that, even though it wasn't finalized. People pretty much knew it was a mere formality that he was going to play Skeletor. Like I said before in my other video, I don't really care who plays whom anymore, like I did in the beginning, because I still had yet to read the synopsis of the film. And if you go back to my last video where I actually talked about the synopsis of the film, I kind of lost all hope that this upcoming Masters of the Universe film is going to be any good. So if I don't believe the film is going to be good, what do I care about the casting? Now, and for those of you who may not have watched that video and don't know what I'm talking about, well, spoiler alert, I got this from a pretty reasonable source. It was an article in which they were talking about the synopsis of the film, where they pretty much laid out the fact that He-Man was once again going to go back to Earth.
Oh, this is terrible.
But not just Earth for 5 minutes, but no, he was going to spend the majority of his life there, raised until he was 30, clueless about the sword, and then when he finally gets the sword, then and only then does he return to Eternia.
This is ridiculous.
Which to me seemed absolutely positively ludicrous, and to me was a pretty big signal that once again they want He-Man out of the way.
Well, thanks.
Apparently Mattel hasn't learned one lesson since 1986. and apparently hasn't learned a lesson since the Kevin Smith series debacle as well.
I'm the party pooper.
So when I heard that, I lost all hope that this film in any way was going to be good. So if the film's not going to be good, you could cast Oppenheimer himself to play Skeletor, and I still wouldn't believe it would be good.
No, it can't be!
That being said, I do have my opinion on Jared Leto. No, I don't believe Jared Leto is a bad actor. And I know a lot of people say, well, Skeletor, did you see how horrible his Joker was? And yes, it was horrible. But we also have to kind of consider the place Jared Leto was in at the time. I really feel kind of bad for Jared Leto's portrayal of the Joker because he was kind of in a tough spot, you know?
Are you sweet-talking me?
I think how bad Joker wasn't really the fault of Jared Leto more than it was the fact that he had to follow up a pretty awesome Joker in Heath Ledger.
Why so serious?
I mean, he had a lot of big shoes to fill. It's like he had to follow Mark Hamill's cartoon Joker, Jack Nicholson's awesome Joker from 1989.
Where does he get those wonderful toys?
And then Heath Ledger's Joker, which were all completely different types of Joker. So he was just left with, I don't know, tattoo my forehead and laugh really slowly. I don't know.
He's so intense.
How much different can I make this character? You know, he was kind of put in a horrible spot there. Did I like the choice he made? No. But there's only so many different directions you could take a character. Which to me is really the biggest problem, right? The fact that an actor actually has to take a character in a direction at all. Which is not a Jared Leto issue, it's more of a Hollywood issue. Because for me, I believe that most of the issues that come from horrible remakes of old IPs and things that we loved growing up, the reason they fail has more to do with ego than it does to do with anything else. I mean, yes, bad writing and horrible effects and stuff like that, and not caring about the actual IP doesn't help. But that also could be put to ego, right? I mean, a lot of these actors and directors are like, well, I'm going to make Transformers, but I'm going to put a spin on it, right? I think the Transformers looks too cartoony in the cartoon, so I'm going to, add a little alien flair to it, right? My flair to it.
What the devil's wrong with him?
And that's sort of the problem, that all these directors, actors, and Hollywood producers all tend to have this sense of entitlement ego, where it's like, I'm going to take this old 50-year-old IP that is beloved by millions of people as is, and I'm going to take it in my direction. It's about me. This is my performance.
It's not about them! It's all about me!
Wow. What a jerk.
I am the Joker, or I am Skeletor, or I am whatever, and I'm going to take it in the direction that I want him to go. Forget about whatever preconceived notions you all have of the character based on 40 or 50 years of watching the character, or reading about the character in a novel. I'm taking it in my direction.
It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not.
And that tends to be the biggest problem when it comes to these live-action films. I can go on a rant about the ego of Hollywood for a long time. Actually, I may. Leave in the comment if you want Skeletor to go into depth on this ego issue of Hollywood. I mean, I know woke is a big problem in Hollywood, but before woke was an issue, this ego thing was an issue. And once you get rid of the woke stuff, you're still going to be left with the ego stuff. So still, that's a big problem for most of the reason for why these things tend to fail, more often than not.
What a story.
And the opposite could be proven by what happened with Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, look at how successful those films are. And just think about how close they came to failure. They released a trailer of that horrible, ugly-looking Sonic, and everyone had a meltdown online.
The internet got one look at my human teeth and burned the place down.
But instead of calling everyone a bunch of racists or bigots or whatever the hell you want to call them, they said, maybe we should listen to the fan base on this.
I'm sorry.
Sony didn't say, well, now we're not making it for the existing fans. We're trying to get a whole new group of fans. After all, this Sonic is my artistic vision. All of those Sonic fans have to live with my vision.
That doesn't sound good.
Sony decided to remove their ego and say, you know what, how about we listen to the fans and listen to the people who actually care for the property for once and give them what they want.
Ha-ha! Nailed it!
And I remember, there were a lot of people out there in Hollywood that were actually opposed to this. They were like, how dare they listen to the fans? This is a bad precedent to set. We can't just listen to whatever the hell they want. We need the freedom to give out our artistic interpretation to these things. And I agree with that to a certain extent. Especially if you invented your own thing, go right ahead. The problem is in Hollywood, you're kind of stuck, aren't you, right? You want to show off your artistic talents while at the same time trying to make what should be assured success by using an old popular IP. And so you have a really hard task in trying to balance the talent with the money makers, right? The talent wants to do their own thing. The money makers want a sure bet. These two things cannot coexist in Hollywood. At some point, as an actor or as a director, you gotta play ball. You gotta say, you know what? Sure, I'll play ball with Hollywood for a little while. Make the money, give myself a name by doing what they expect me to do for a little while, play ball, and then when I get more popular and get more clout in the industry, then I can do my own thing and fail on my own. But no, the ego in this instance always tends to win out. Well, mostly tends to win out. Which then lends to either the director or actor saying, well, I want to do what I want to do, and I'm going to show those Hollywood producers just how wonderful and great my vision is. And then you fail, and then you cry on camera, and you want to know why these people don't like you. I was giving my interpretation. Don't you love me? Sorry, we love the IP. That's why we paid money to go see it. We didn't care for your horrific vision. You know, sometimes you can have a vision like Heath Ledger sure gave his interpretation of the character.
Do I really look like a guy with a plan?
And it works for the character. And people are like, well, that's a good idea. That was a brave choice.
I'm just ahead of the curve.
But most of the time, it fails. Which is exemplified by the Jared Leto performance, right?
You don't want no beef? You don't want no beef?
I mean, really, what did he do that was any different than Heath Ledger? Heath Ledger said, I'm taking the vision into my direction, and it actually worked. And maybe it was timing. Maybe people were looking for something different. You know, we'd already seen the character through Jack Nicholson and the cartoons throughout the years. Maybe we were ready for a different version of Joker, right? But if you're gonna do a character we've only seen maybe once, you know, and we haven't seen him done once well yet, like, say, Sonic. You know, maybe we see 3 or 4 different Sonic films, and then we're just so bored of it that someone comes up with some wacky design. We're like, all right, why not? We're more open to it now that we've already had it done properly once.
Yeah, is that so difficult to believe?
But we have yet to see Skeletor done well once yet. Well, I guess that's also open for interpretation because people tended to like Frank Langella's version of Skeletor. I mean, liked his performance. Not his outfit or his makeup, which was absolutely horrible.
Its energy flows through me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there are those who thought it was, bad. Skeletor's not supposed to sound like Saruman.
I, Skeletor, am master of the universe.
But some people liked it. I, for one, did. But a lot of people tend to like a more traditional Skeletor. One with the puns that calls everyone a bunch of fools. So if Jared Leto plays the role safe and does a Oppenheimer impersonation or whatever, I think it could be done well. Well, it also depends on the tone of the film. If the film is a grim, dark version of He-Man, maybe an Oppenheimer-style Skeletor might not be the best. But by the sounds of it, it sounds like it's going to be more comedic and silly than probably people would have liked. So doing an Oppenheimer style might not be so bad.
Never!
So, I don't know. I don't think Jared Leto is a good enough actor that he can add something to the character. I think he's more like a Kevin Bacon doing Skeletor, Good enough to not make it horrible, but he also has the potential with an ego to make it horrible by just saying, I'm going to take Skeletor in my direction. I'm gonna tattoo, I hate being nice on my forehead. And I'm going to laugh, I am Skeletor. Maybe that's a direction he'll take it in, but I guess we don't know. I mean, the rest of the casting, like I said, is alright. Idris Elba was also announced as Man-at-Arms.
Not me.
So, I actually like Idris Elba, and I think, as an actor, I think he can do really good things with Man-at-Arms.
Don't fart or make fart sounds.
Now, there's a lot of people probably upset by the race swap, which is another thing that I've always said, why bother adding any form of controversy to your film for no reason? I personally don't care, but there are enough people that may care that it's almost unnecessary to put in just because you could have made Idris Elba his own character, you could have invented a character, or you could have made him Clapchamp or something. But they decided to lend themselves to controversy.
What are you talking about?
Which doesn't seem to be the case because I think people love Idris Elba, so I haven't heard of any controversy yet. But my point is, why bother? There's really no need. It's kind of lazy to do, and you could avoid it all by just making your own character, inventing a character, or making him Clapchamp an existing character.
It's distracting a little bit.
But again, they took the chance to say, yeah, we'll make him Man-at-Arms. Like I said, as an actor, I think he's perfect for Man-at-Arms. As far as personality is concerned, I think he could do it well. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't care about the race swap. And I'm like, that's fine. I don't care about it either. But if you don't care about the race swap, then don't care about the race swap in all directions. Which means that if, I don't know, if Jackie Chan wanted to play Clapchamp, you should also be just as okay with that.
Bollocks. The dog's bollocks.
Nah, maybe not. I don't see Jackie Chan as Clapchamp, but you get the point I'm trying to make. You're okay with one swap, then you should be okay with the other.
Which is really mature.
But anyway, that's sort of what I feel about it. Like I said, I don't have any faith in this film. I mean, I'm hoping that what I read was wrong, and I'm still waiting for someone in the comments to say, Skeletor, that synopsis you read is a false synopsis, but I have yet to hear that and read anything to the contrary, so, I don't have any faith. Jared Leto, his look, the one good thing about Jared Leto is, at least he looks kind of like Keldor, right? Just paint him blue. That's all you really need to do, la-da-dee-la-dee-die. And I think he could make a good-looking Keldor. But I think the best thing that Jared Leto could do is play it safe, And I'm talking directly to you, Jared Leto. I'm saying this for your own good and your career. Play it safe this time. No weird tattoos, no crazy laughs, and a little flair, not too much. You'll be okay.
I'm an idea.
If you do a good-looking Sonic version rather than an ugly Sonic version, you'll be alright. And then, if you get so popular because people liked your good-looking version of Sonic, then maybe you can go on and use that popularity towards other things. Another example is, look at where Ryan Reynolds' career was before and after he did Deadpool. I think his career was practically almost dead until he did Deadpool, pardon the pun.
Whose balls did I have to fondle to get my very own movie?
But, let's be honest, his career was not going very well up until he decided to play Deadpool, which was a perfect role for him. And he didn't add his interpretation. He played Deadpool the way Deadpool's supposed to be.
And that's why we do it, but mostly the money.
I mean, it's also partial to the fact that Ryan Reynolds' personality is very close to Deadpool, so that also helped.
I know, right?
To be perfectly honest, I would have casted Jim Carrey. As I think Jim Carrey would probably make the coolest and funniest version of Skeletor.
Somebody stop me!
I think he'd do the voice well and entertaining enough that if they went the more comedic route with Skeletor, he could pull that off. And I also believe that if they went with a more dark and sinister version of Skeletor, he could do that as well.
This is the worst day of my life!
But anyway, that's what I believe and think about the casting so far. But that's only me. Let me know what you all think in the comments. Do you think Jared Leto has the chops to play Skeletor if his ego doesn't get in the way? And also let me know in the comments. Would you like to see me, Skeletor, do an entire video? Because I've thought about that. Doing a whole video talking about why I believe these IPs fail. Because truthfully, I have a long, detailed list of reasons as to why Hollywood fails at remaking our beloved IPs, and also a list as to why they fail altogether. So let me know in the comments if you want Skeletor to do that video. It's been something that's been an itch that I've been wanting to do for a while, but I haven't gotten around to it. But if I get enough likes in this video and enough incentive, then maybe I will.
Quiet, you drunk.
But anyway, that's all I have to say on that. And as usual, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to Shadyology. Until next time.
Hey Skeletor, what the heck is this bird brain doing here? Hey, who you calling a bird brain? Why don't you go chase some yarn there, Chitara?
Come on, little ladies. Don't fight, there's plenty of Skeletor to go around. I've got enough bone for both of you.